Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the It Matters podcast. I'm so excited that you've decided to join me on this journey. I'm pumped to be able to bring you some guests and some insight and wisdom when it comes to mindset, leadership, and growth. And so I really hope that you enjoy that. And in between episodes, when we have guests, I'm going to bring you these episodes that are solo episodes. And the idea here is that I want to bring you topics that will add value to you, that you can take and bring it into the arenas of your life and where you work and where you live, and be able to apply them so it makes you a better human being. And so today, I want to ask you a question. Do you practice the art of time out? Maybe you've never really thought about that. Maybe you're kind of thinking about that. And what do I mean by that? Some of you are probably going, hey, I used to have timeouts when I was a little kid, and there was always associated with punishment and discipline. I don't really like them. Maybe you're a parent and you have children, and that's actually what you do today. You put them in timeout when they're misbehaving, or you want them to learn a lesson and you want to give them time on their own. And maybe that's how you use the whole timeout concept. Well, that's not what I'm talking about today. I want to encourage you to use timeout in a positive way. Sports teams, athletes will use timeouts as a way to reflect, to pause, to rest, to refocus. And that's exactly what I want to encourage you guys to do, is that when you learn to utilize the timeout, it'll make you a better person. But in my teachings, there's a lot of different aspects to timeout. So I just kind of want to focus on one thing today, though, and that is the art of reflecting. When you know how to do timeouts, one of the things that you'll get good at is reflecting. And so I want to help you today with understanding what the art of reflection looks like. Because in leadership, one of the attributes of leadership is the ability to have clarity, the ability to communicate clarity. And I believe that if you do reflection properly, it'll open up the door to be able to have clarity in the way you live your life, but also the way you communicate it to others. And so reflection is going to be able to give you that reality check. It'll help you acknowledge and have awareness of where you're at today, which is so important for a leader or for anybody who wants to grow and learn more. But here, let me pause for one moment, because I want to tell you what reflection is not. Reflection is not an opportunity or an ability to give you permission to swim in your filth, to swim in your brokenness, to reflect on things that are not so good and have a bunch of regret. Reflection is not going to be an opportunity for you to create this giant laundry list, this dirty laundry list of things that you're not proud of, and for you to be able to just live your life in this negativity. That is not what I'm talking about. Reflection is an opportunity for you to actually, yes, acknowledge those failures, but then to ask yourself, what am I going to learn from that? How am I going to pivot from that? And how am I going to grow from these failures? Because failure is an opportunity to grow, and you're not perfect. You're a human being, and you're going to have failures in your life. So the important part here is, how are we going to learn from that? See, reflection gives you the opportunity to also maybe check what you've done so good, what you've done well, and an opportunity to celebrate. I think we live in a culture today that doesn't know how to celebrate wins sometimes. We're always acknowledging and pointing on the things that we need to learn and we need to fix. But the fact is that you probably are doing some good things in your life. And so reflection will give you an opportunity to celebrate and to acknowledge those wins, which is so, so important. When you end up acknowledging those wins, it actually, reflection leads you to this state where you can now live in gratitude. Gratitude is such an important thing because you know what gratitude does, or at least what I have learned, that gratitude actually divides the emotion from the past and divides it from the emotion from the future. It allows you to live in the present, and it really gives you this attitude of positivity, but really actually an acknowledgement that you're saying, actually, I have good things going on. There's great things that are happening, and I want to do more of that, and I want to be able to live my life in gratitude. And the great part of that, that ripples into more gratitude, positive attitude, and you actually start looking for the right things in your life, not what's going wrong. And you actually, I actually believe that you attract a better life that way. So I hope that you understand that reflection is meant to be a good thing for you and not not to take you down. When we practice reflection, I have learned that it takes me on a whole different level. So what do I do for reflection? I want to share with you a little bit of how I've practiced reflection because I've had some great wins in that. And let me be honest with you, like I haven't always been good at it. I've had some times in my life where I've been great and other times where I've dropped the ball, I guess we'll say that. And but it's overall, it's been such a good thing. So this is what I do. I reflect daily. I reflect weekly. I reflect monthly, and I reflect annually. And actually, I just started implementing reflecting biannually. I want to reflect mid-year because it gives me an opportunity to really kind of check myself and see where I'm at and what can I do differently. So let's go back to daily. I reflect daily, and specifically for me, I reflect at the end of the day, at night. I reflect on what I did well, what I didn't do so good, and then I end up planning my next day. I use that as an opportunity to readjust, to reset. And then I go on and I reflect weekly. I look at my whole week schedule and I look at what I could have done a little bit different, what went really good and what I want to repeat. And then I plan my rest of the week. Then I, go on to the end of the month and I reflect my month. I look at the big events that took place and I look at what I want to repeat and what I want to adjust again. And then I do that with my biannual reflection time. And I also do that with my annual reflection time. My annual reflection time, by the way, has looked a little different every year. I'm learning and adjusting because I'm trying to figure out what works for me. I've done to the point where I've gone and I've done little retreats for a whole day and night where I've stayed at a hotel and I've used them as an opportunity to really think about the past year and also reflect on the year to come. I've done half day retreats. I've done hours of retreats just to give me an opportunity, whatever I need that will bring the best out of me so I can learn from my past, I can learn from my mistakes, so I can learn from my wins and then be able to uh, propel myself into the new year. So maybe you're thinking, oh my goodness, this seems kind of extreme, Walter. I don't have time for that. I don't know how I can do that. Listen, the idea here is not for you to be able to be perfect at this, to have that perfect reflection time. The idea here is to create a habit of reflection and figure out what works for you. So instead of saying that doesn't work for me or I don't want to do that, no, figure out how it will work for you because reflection, I believe, is a must. When you can do reflection properly, it's only going to be to benefit you and to benefit your future. Remember, you are not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. And so this is a really a great opportunity for you to understand that you need to have grace on yourself, that you want to create healthy habits and be able to learn from that and be able to adjust. Why do I reflect so often? Why do I do daily, weekly, monthly, and annual reflections? Because it allows me to reverse engineer my dreams. It allows me to reverse engineer my goals and check myself along the way. When you reflect properly, you end up learning the art of pivoting. You end up learning the art of adjusting along the way. You don't have to show up to the end of the year and go, oh my goodness, I have 12 months behind me and it didn't go the way I wanted. I wanted to do something differently, and now I feel like I'm a failure. I feel like I regret all that. That's not the goal here. When you pivot along the way, you're able to make small moves and small steps that will adjust and tweak you. So then you can win that year. So you can win that week. You can win that month. With those biannual reflection times that I put in, I don't have to just reflect at the end of the year. 6 months in, I can be like, whoa, those first 6 months didn't go as good as I wanted it. So I'm gonna tweak, and I'm gonna make my next 6 months better. If I wanted to read a book every month and I didn't do that in the first half, well, start reading them now. Again, the idea here is not perfection, it's consistency. The idea here is not perfection, it's consistency. And that way you can start actually learning and growing from that. So I really want you to understand that and really grasp that, because when you learn how to reflect properly, it's going to be a team player on your team that just will propel you to maximize your potential. And you know me, I want to encourage you to maximize your potential. I want to help you lead well. And that's one of those things that I have learned that actually works really great. And so as you go on, what are you going to reflect on? Or what are you going to contribute, or what are you going to put into your life that really, really works, that will work for you? And so I really hope that you put that into practice. You put the practice of time out, and then in that you learn how to do the art of reflection, because you're going to become a better human being in that, and you're going to do some amazing things. All right, guys. I hope that this adds value to you. You can write in the comments, share with me what you're learning from reflection and how you want to maybe apply it, and how you want to become better at that. So I'm excited for our next episode. I'm going to introduce to you my first guest on the podcast, and I'll tell you this, he is a health coach, and you're not going to want to miss this, because many of you will want to learn what he has to say. He has a passion to helping people live healthy lives. And I think this applies to all of us. It doesn't matter who you are. We could all probably put some better habits in when it comes to our health. So make sure you join me on the next episode. I'm excited to spend time with this guest, and you're going to love it. So until next time, remember, dream big, grow always, and lead well.